Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I thought we would do another tag video because they're fun and I have a good time doing them, and this is the Nope Trope book tag. Okay, so originally this tag was made by Zoe's Old Books. I'll put a link to her channel below because she is hilarious and I love listening to her videos and she's so much fun and all that good stuff, so please give her a check if you want to. Basically, the Nope Trope book tag is when you look at very overdone tropes in stories and books that just make your eye roll and just, oh god, they're doing this again, you know, that kind of attitude. And there are questions linked to those tags and you have to try and find books to match the answers to your questions. So I thought, why not give it a go? Let it be known that some of these books I have read and no longer own for good reason, and others I still have also for some kind of good reason. So I have a little pile next to me of the books I do have, and I will put a screenshot of the books that I no longer do and do not want them back in my life. First trope is eavesdropping and miscommunication. Name a book that you heard great things about and expected to love, but ended up hating. There are two contenders for this one because I just couldn't pick. Now, there are many a book that I've talked about that I really hated and that I've really been let down by, but there's two in particular that I actually heard great things about, whereas the others I just kind of thought they'd be interesting and fun and then was let down. These ones were so hyped up and so, oh yeah, this book's amazing, oh my god, you know, they're even making news and movies, oh my god, these books are amazing. So I thought, okay, fine, let's give it a go. And that is Divergent and 50 Shades of Grey. I just want to say that with Divergent, I was still in the Hunger Games high phase, because I don't think that they're amazing books, but I do think that they are good books to read. They're fun books, and I really enjoyed them, even though there are many things that I just don't agree with. There is a good structure there. And I heard so many people, oh, if you love Hunger Games, you'll love Divergent. Divergent this, Divergent that. Oh my god, Divergent. So I was like, okay, I will give it a go. And it was so boring from the get-go. You learn nothing about the main character. It is just info dump after info dump, and it was so boring. And once again, it goes into the love triangle territory, but that is something else to talk about for a different day. It was a massive letdown. With 50 Shades, I had heard nothing about the story of this book. I'd only heard about the hype, how everyone was reading it, how it's amazing, how it has one of the best love stories ever written and all that jazz, but I didn't know anything about the actual plot. So I bought it blind, completely blind, and then I started reading it, and then I started realising this is terribly written, none of the characters are likeable, and everything about it just makes me want to hunt down the characters if they were real and give them a good slap across the face, because everyone is so stupid, absolutely stupid. So yeah, massive letdowns on both parts. I finished Divergent, I didn't finish the sequel, I did not finish 50 Shades, because it was so badly written. So speaking of love triangles, Love Triangle is our next Nope trope, and you all know how much I hate this one. But the question does have a positive spin. Pick a series where you just can't pick your favourite book. And I had a few contenders for this one as well. I really enjoyed the Cogheart series, really loved the Artemis Fowl series. At one point I was thinking, oh, the Harry Potter series, that's an easy one, but no, I have mentioned that I do have a favourite from that one, and that is Prisoner of Azkaban, because that's when things start getting darker and changing, but that's a different topic. I really enjoyed the Heroes of Olympus series. Yeah, I mean, I've had my issues with Percy Jackson as a character, but the Percy Jackson world I absolutely adore. It has its issues, I understand that, but I love it so, so much. And I do have all of the books downstairs, but I just couldn't be bothered carrying them all up when I already have a pile, and I do have a few on my Kindle as well. But there's 5 books where there is a mashup between Percy Jackson's group and the Jason group, and you're jumping between characters and groups, and then there's this team up, and I adore all of the new characters that are brought in. I love the dynamics, and we can all agree that Nico is one to be protected. So is Frank, so is Leo, so is Hazel, and Annabeth is just kick-ass, and I love that series. I can't pick my favourite book from that series. There's 5 books, and I really, really love them. The second Nope trope is, I'm not like other girls, or I didn't know I was pretty. This one is, name a book with a beautiful cover but ended up being boring as hell. That one is one I have here, and it is not finished because it's boring as hell, and that is The Hourglass Factory. And I don't know if you can see because of the light, but look at this cover. This is gorgeous, like the Victorian era style, the suffragettes, the votes for women, the little typewriters, just there's so many little hints. And like the trapeze artist up here, there are so many little bits and pieces on this cover that gives you this image that maybe exciting things are going to happen, that it's very artistic, that it's got its world figured out, that it is trying to lure you in. I love this cover. It is just, I mean, and look, there's snakes and like poison bottles. I don't know, like the cat tail going up here. Don't know what happened to the camera then. Like the cat tail. There's just so many things happening in miniature detail on this cover, and it is gorgeous. But I have gotten this far into it, and I kid you not, nothing has happened at all. We are still having the main characters introduce themselves to each other, even though they've met countless times, and I just needed to put it down and take a break because I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I'm sorry. I might pick it up at some point in the future, but I have no rush to get back to it right now. Nothing is happening in there. The next trope is the douchebag trope, and this one kind of made me laugh. So, name a book that took you a while to get into, but now you absolutely love, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and I don't know what to say. I don't normally read, like, romance books. I don't normally read the shy girl is in a brand new environment and it takes a guy to lure her out of her comfort zone. I don't read that kind of stuff because it just doesn't appeal to me, and that's pretty much all I'd heard about this book until one of my friends and beta readers, and she was also my bridesmaid, she can't stop singing this book's praises. And for a while I just kind of humoured her, like, yeah, I might give it a go, you know, it's on my list, and to be fair, it was. I just never got around to getting it because it just didn't appeal to me. But then she went and got it for me for Christmas last year, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a read. And again, when I'm reading it, I've already got this thing in my head of, oh, it's, you know, it's going to be a cliche romance, so, you know, she's a shy girl, oh, she's a wannabe writer, you know, why she's an introvert, because that stereotype says the introvert wannabe writer, but regardless. So, yeah, there were so many things at the beginning that was already in my head that I was like, I'm just not going to get into this book, and I'm going to have to break my friend's heart by saying that I can't get into it as much as she has. But then this book does something very bizarre. It develops characters on their own before introducing the idea of a relationship, and that just blew my mind. And the fact that you get realistic interpretations of anxiety and the idea of self-worth, and this whole controversial nature of what is writing. Is fanfiction a form of writing, or is it just plagiarism? What is the limits of expressing creativity? And then you've got this whole family drama in the background that takes a really good, strong seat alongside everything else, and then you have this really slow burn budding romance that actually feels realistic. and I ended up relating to this book quite a bit. And for the first chunk, I'm like, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm sorry. I'm already planning all the apologies in my head, but oh lord. And then something just clicked, and I absolutely adore this book now. And I don't know why, but I adore it. It's just really relatable and real, and the romance isn't even the biggest part of it, which I think I appreciate, because it's not all new feelings and stuff. I have so many things to deal with, and now I've got someone who wants to share it with me, but I don't know how to take this. There are a few moments in there that do really grate on me. There are a few other tropes that pop up where I'm like, oh, you did not have to go there, but you did anyway. But then they bring it back, and it's a weird one. I didn't expect to love it, but I do. And the final one is the all-consuming love trope. This one is name a book that gave you a hangover. And if you're wondering what hangover means, it's like when you finish a big writing event, or you finished a book that has a really intense story that really just gets you, and you finished, and then you put the book down, or you close the laptop, or you put the pen down, then you're just there like, in this daze, you do not know what to do with yourself, and your mind is still exhausted and racing from everything that's just happened, and you're just there like, I need a minute to process everything that's just happened. And this can go on for a fair few days. You just can't get that out of your head, and it's a lot to process. A hangover. There were a few contenders for this one. Every Day. Again, another romance-based one that I did not expect to get into, but the ending just friggin' crushed me emotionally and came out of nowhere, and I did not expect it to take that direction, and it was a good outcome, but at the same time, it friggin' hurts, and I didn't expect to be hurt by this book, and how dare it? Another one is Night Circus. And I know I have that downstairs, but I cannot find it anywhere, which is really annoying because I do want to give it another read at some point. But again, that's more of there are so many plot points and characters to keep track of that it does fry your brain after a while, but it's still a stunning book and so well written, and I really friggin' love it and need to find it. And I know I'm kind of cheating by mentioning multiple books, but I just can't pick, and I am so indecisive. And the last one is one that I did manage to find, and that is Inkheart. This is one of my favourite books, and it just brought this writing spark in me that I have carried on for years and years and years, and I love it so much. And just the very concept of being able to read fictional characters and objects into the real world, and read something from our world and into a fictional one. It's a fascinating concept, and the directions this book takes to just explore as much of it as possible is amazing, and the ending kind of leaves you with this wonder of all the possibilities that could happen if you had this power, or what are these people with this power going to do, and your mind is constantly racing as soon as you finish it. The sequels do not live up to the first one, which is really disappointing, and it does upset me because I didn't find the two sequels very interesting at all, but this first one just stuck with you and leaves this feeling, and yeah, I love it. And yeah, the last part of this challenge is to share your best and worst tropes and give your reasons why. I've mentioned tropes before, like my favourites and least favourites. I think I've done top 5s and bottom 5s. I've definitely done that. I think I did that last year. So you've probably already heard these, but if you haven't, my least favourite trope, and I hate it so much, is just the killing for dramatic effect. I mean, you've got these amazing group of characters, and then you're really stuck for ideas, and you think, oh, I'll just kill one of them, that'll just be drama. But then everyone else is reading it like there was no reason. No one benefits and no one loses anything from a character death like this. If a character is going to die, it needs to have an impact, it needs to have a meaning, it needs to do something to push the story forward. Killing for dramatic effect, the same reason of gore for gore's sake, is just so empty and bland and just makes you feel like the entire thing was a waste of time, and I hate it so much. I mean, if characters need to die, then I need to feel upset about it in a no, they had so much to live for, or no, they were going to do this, or no, that means that this can't happen now. Oh my god, there needs to be a big level of impact. If they just die, you're just kind of like, okay, why? This makes no sense, and no one else in the book seems to care. But my favourite trope, and it's a cheesy one, it's probably on so many people's nope trope list, but I don't care, I love it. It gives me the warm fuzzy feelings and I adore it so, so much, and that is the found family trope. I love it when a group that have no business being together just team up, and everyone's like this, they've all been hurt, there's trauma, there's emotional baggage, and they all just team up and become this like little family unit, and they help each other and they help each other build up and get stronger, and it's just so fun and I love it so much, and it can happen to any group of characters. There's no limits on age or background or anything like that. It's just if a team meshes together, then they can become a family, and it just opens so many doors for character development and pushing the story forward, and I love stuff like that. Found family. So that was the Nope Trope book tag challenge, and I had a lot of fun, and I challenge all of you out there watching this. I want you to give this a go because it is so much fun, and I had a really good time digging through my books and just being like, okay, what can I use? What can I dissect here? And it was a really good laugh and I loved it. So I hope that you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, my scribblers.